Hi, everybody. I wanted to welcome you to our seminar, Create Marketing Content with Adobe Express. My name is Hannah Messer. I'm an artist, designer, educator, subject matter expert for the Adobe certification. And I also just do my own collaterals, and I have my own marketing and design studio, which I work with different kind of clients. I'm actually using Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe InDesign for 90% of my client. But lately, what I started to do is actually I started to do some inspiration and some thinking through Adobe Express because it is very easy to get the right kind of idea right away without diving in to Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. So my plan for today is do an overview with Adobe Express, and we're going to create a few marketing collaterals for a subject that we're going to use or decide on. I might think about something about architecture today, but you guys can take another subject too and do whatever you decided to do. And then we are going to get some assets with the help of AI that it is within Adobe Express. So in real life, I'm not using AI for a lot of collaterals, but I'm gathering images for inspiration through AI, and then I'm going out and shooting images and doing my marketing, or a client gives me some images. But for today, for the class, we're going to use AI because it's so much easier for us to look at stuff and see how we're going to go in and create. So before we start, I want to see how many of you used Adobe Express already. Okay, not bad. Great. Some used it, some did kind of with the hands so, and some probably heard about it. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to mention the name, but I will. Most of you probably used Canva before, right? And everybody is smiling here. Haha, I knew that. But again, we are not going to talk about the difference between using Canva and Adobe Express. We're going to dive in directly into that. So I did prepare, let me just hide the floating control because I don't like it. I did prepare kind of like a small presentation, and you have the link for it, and I am going to talk to you a little bit. And the first thing is, what is Adobe Express? Because everybody is asking me, what is it? Why are you using it? Why do you think it's good for us? And so and so and so. So Adobe Express is a web and mobile app that allows you to create content such as social posts, ads, banners, logos, and flyers quickly and easily. It brings together features from Adobe Fonts, Adobe Stock Images, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe Firefly. And nowadays, while I'm talking to you, it also brings together stuff. You can also take stuff from Acrobat and Adobe InDesign if you want to collaborate with that. The good news is it collaborates with the Adobe application. I'm not going to say it's bad news, but they keep updating it all the time. So I might tell you something today and they say, well, I don't think it is doing it yet. And then a moment later, I'll figure out that there was just an update yesterday and I didn't pay attention to it. So one of the suggestions that I have for you guys is look at the updates the whole time. Go online to express.adobe.com and see what's new. I know they're going to have new features coming up in the end of October while we have Adobe Max. And we're going to have a lot of new stuff for all the Adobe application. So stay tuned for that. I think I have a seminar here in the middle of November that I'm going to talk about what's new in Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign after Adobe Max. So let's look at the main features that we have kind of more or less in Adobe Express. Social media posts, stories and ads, flyers, posters and logos, presentation and infographics, short videos and animation, web pages and template to create marketing documents and tutorials, integration with AI, Adobe Firefly, and then text to image, generate images from prompt, text effect, style your text with AI textures and patterns, remove background, instantly isolate subject in photos, resize, animate, adapt design for different platform, and commercially safe trained on licensed data. So we have a lot of stuff over here that we are going to look at working with Adobe Express. So I did a kind of like a slight overview and then talk a little bit about what's going on about marketing and content example. So I have like actually, I'm going to show an example of something that I suggested some of my students before to do. I took like a company like Skechers and I decided on a kind of a prompt says, just slip in and then like take sneakers that you slip in collaboration with Istasil Disability Film Challenge. And I have two websites over here, one about Skechers and another one, a disability film challenge that they have it every year. And they're doing different disability films or short videos about that. And I kind of decided, what if you need to do like a marketing stuff about these two subjects together? So you'll take Skechers, just slip in sneaker brand in collaboration with disability film. And it's a great example how a brand can support both trends. Fashion and accessibility. Skechers will support the challenge and act as one of the sponsors. So I have some learning goals, and I'm going to show you actually an overview that I was doing with the student and telling them based on my overview, maybe create something like it. Don't do the same challenge, do another challenge. Maybe do something with makeup in another company, or maybe do some with clothing in another company, and try to do some marketing. And the result, do that in Adobe Express. So before I'm going to show you what I kind of like envisioned, let's talk about the brand identity before we're doing stuff for marketing, because doesn't matter for me how you start doing your marketing campaign, if you're using social media, if you're doing posters, website, banners, you have to actually establish a brand first. We're not going to have time to do all of it today. That's a different kind of class about brand establishing, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, brand identity is what makes the brand recognized. The design plays a key role in it. So, it consists of overall brand design, the colors you're going to choose, the logos, the fonts, and the messaging that you're going to have. So while we're going to do that in Adobe Express, we're going to think about and pretend we have some kind of a brand for the project that we are doing. And then we're going to make sure we're going to include it while we're working on it. The main purpose of brand identity is actually to make the brand easily recognizable and memorable, and it's also part of consistency as well. So you can see some iconic brand all over the place and you recognize. And one of them that comes to mind for me is the swoosh. Look at that. It started from a Blue Ribbon Sports, and then it was Nike in 1971 to 78, and then 1978, 1995 Nike, and the swoosh, and then just now the swoosh. So if we see the swoosh, we know what it is, right? Everybody is smiling, right? Because I call it the swoosh because it is so recognizable to everybody. So when you do a brand identity, what are the elements that you're doing? So here I have just a simple graphics. And by the way, I didn't create this graphic. That graphics, I created it long time ago in Adobe Illustrator and just placed it over here. So it is kind of the logo component. So you want the logo to be really a great design and memorable and recognizable and distinctive because you want somebody to look at it and know, yes, I know what it is, right? What comes to mind to you guys? Yeah, I hear that. Coca-Cola. Exactly. You see Coca-Cola and you know what it is because even the typeface has the Coca-Cola typeface. So there's some companies, the brand is so clear that right away from far away, when we see the logo, we know what the story is all about. Then you have a color palette, having specific colors that help you create consistent designs. And that's going to be really, really cool. And then you have the font, specific fonts that you want to go in and work with. And then the design and the style and everything that you have. So you can see here what's important is Coca-Cola. And you see here the story of Coca-Cola. Then you want to always do like a design brief that you work with it. And then we can go in and look at colors and then go in and create the stuff that we have and just move into that. Hello. Hi. So we are started already and I'm recording it. So you can join and you can join and watch, or you can start working with it with me as soon as you are ready to do so. So what I have over here is the site that we were talking about, and then I have the important links. All of you got it already in the email. You got an email of this presentation, and what you see there, it just links about Adobe Blog, Brand Kit, brand identity, and then brand identities that you have here. So if I'm going to go and maybe click on one of them, you can see over here that I'm going to go, hopefully it's going to go there, and then you can see here brand identity in Behance, and that's where we can see a lot of this stuff. So you can go over this presentation. I sent you the link via email, and then you can see, and if always when you have any question to me, you can always send me the question. But now we're going to dive in into Adobe Express. So I'm going to click on Adobe Express, and if you want to join me, what you're going to need to do is basically type express.adobe.com. Did you use Adobe Express before? Okay, great. So we talked about it. So some people use Canva, some people use Adobe Express, but a lot of people will do marketing with Illustrator, right? InDesign and actually Photoshop. And why do you use Adobe Express sometime to create marketing? Because it's easy and it's fast. And maybe the last job is not going to be in it, but actually you're going to do that for inspiration, a lot of the things. So what we have here is basically, this is express.adobe.com. This is my Adobe Express. You can also have Adobe Express on the phone now, and actually I think it's already on the iPad, so you can use it on any device. It is a web application. So far, it's not really desktop yet. It's a web application. And one of the things, sometimes I have a problem just doing a class like this, is all of a sudden our internet is not working and then we cannot do anything. So that's kind of like the caveat of it. All of a sudden I want to do something and it doesn't do it actually. So what do we have over here? On the left side, you do see, oh, I can start a new project. I have the home, that's my home, create anything. And then I have my stuff. So this is my stuff that I already have. And I actually started something and I called it Creating Marketing Content with Adobe Express, but I didn't finish this one yet. I'll get into it in a minute. Then I have some brands. So what does it mean, brands? You can go in and decide to create your own brand before you start working with Adobe Express. So if you have a project that you really start working for it with your client or here at school, you can create your brand, and based on that, you can just do stuff. So you can see over here, I do have a brand actually that I created, and look at the colors that I have here. When I created the brand, you can see what it is already, right? This is probably, I needed to do something for USC, so I have the USC colors over here. I have some symbols over here. I have pictures for USC. I created my own brand, and I actually can use it for the stuff that I want to work. So if I wanted to use my own or just create a new one, all what you need to do is go to brand and just create a new brand over here. If you click on the word create new, it is going to tell you that you want to go in and set it up, or you can extract the brand from another upload. This is on beta. So what it means that you can go back here and upload something, and it will extract from it some kind of a brand for you. But I'm just going to go in and create a brand. And let's say if I do manual setup. So I'm going to call it test brand. Why am I calling it test? Because I'm probably going to take it away after. And then I'm going to save it to my personal storage or to create web page story. Because there is a create web story also. And then if I want to go in and change that, I can go and put it in there. And then I'm going to go in and create. So now what it's asking me to do is add a logo if you have a logo, add colors if you want to start doing colors, add the typeface, and actually add graphics. So you can start uploading graphics from all over the place and really have some stuff already. So I can go back here and upload graphics, JPEG, SVG, PSD, and Illustrator. So I can do any graphics that I want to go and do. So let's say I'm just going to double click on an image that I have, and I'm going to open that. So I have an image that I want to start working with it. And then I can go in and let's say I'm going to go in and upload another one. So I can go and add another one. So I can add more graphics over here. And let's say I have a logo and then maybe even another logo for a presentation, and I can go and have it, right? I can also go into the colors, and then I can start adding colors. So I can go and give it a name, and then I can start choosing some colors that I have. And I'm going to go in and have the swatches that I have already, or I can just do custom colors over here, or I can just go in. If I had any images on the screen, I can add that as well. And I'm saving. So I'm just going to pretend that I'm having something, and I'm just going to do that. Then you can also do some typefaces. So if you decided already on typefaces, you can see here the Adobe stock over here, and you can see typefaces that you want to go in and start working with. So this is basically your brand. Then you have some templates. So we can start working with templates, and look what I have over here. I can start working with different kind of things. And all the way here, I can also schedule it and send it to social media. I have the learn area over here, and I have some add-ons. So this is kind of the left side over here. But what we're going to do here, we're going to decide on a marketing collateral that we have. So you can choose any subject that you want. I might maybe choose that maybe I want to do some kind of marketing promotion for an architecture company. I don't have any images right now about architecture, but I want to create something based on that right now. So what do I want to go and work with? So the first thing I want to go in, maybe I'm going to go in and create some kind of a social media post that I have over here. So I'm just going to go back here and just create a social media post. And that's going to be, I'm going to go a square one over here and look what I have over here. So depending what I want to do over here now, if you have already images, of course, you can bring them over here. But what I really want to do over here is create something, let's say, for architecture and now social media, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select that. And then I'm going to go in and edit the page if I want to go and add that. Maybe I'm going to do a background color. And I'm going to do it very slow so we can see how easy we can start doing some kind of collateral for something that you want to work with. I'm just going to go back to my custom and then just create a very mild background. Not sure I'm going to leave it like that, but I'm just going to go and have it over here. What can I do over here, over here? I can add a title. I can resize it, I can translate it, I can also create something else to it, but I can start adding some content. So I'm going to go to the edit content and go to media. So what do I have over here? I can upload something for my device, but like I said before, I don't really have any images that I brought with me. So I'm going to search first. And I'm going to go in and say architecture buildings. And I'm going to say view all. And look what I get over here. Different kind of photos. And I'm going to go in and look what I have over here. I have some kind of images that I can go in and use. Hello. I can go and use it. But if I don't feel like using it, depending what am I promoting over here. So maybe I'm going to promote urban architecture, maybe something in the city that I have. So I'm just going to click on an image over here, and you can see that I have just an image over here, and I can start working with it. And maybe you want to go and do the stuff with it, or I can go back here and create something else with it. So let's say I put it in there. And then I'm going to go to my text right now. And in this one, I want to go and add a title. And then look at that. In the add the title, I can go and give a title to my social media. So I'm just going to double click here, select all, and we'll say create and establish your home. Just gave them kind of like a tagline to it. And then I can go back here and decide on typefaces that I want to go and play with over here. And I can see all the suggested typeface that I have. I'm going to go in here actually and say create. I'm not going to do your home. I just changed the tagline over here. And I'm going to go back here and make it a little bit bigger and just. So let me see if you can go and start doing. So what did I do? I started with just a Instagram post, which is a square. And now what I'm doing, I'm just creating some kind of the title that I have. So how do I want to have the title over here? So you can see over here, I added my own text over here. I don't want to generate text effect yet right now, but I can go and just look at some labels that I have over here. But now if I click on it and I'm just going to go back here and look at that. Look what I have over here. I can align everything to the center. I can go back here to the typeface, and I'm going to choose something that it is a different kind of typeface. Maybe I'm going to go and make it kind of bold over here. And then I'm just going to go in and maybe not create your home, right? So we're going to find, anybody has any suggestion for an idea for the title that we have. I can just do my architecture company. So I'm going to say build and design engine. Just go and just do stuff like that. So if I had a logo already for build and design, I'm probably going to go in and create and bring my logo over here and just have it here. But maybe I want to do something else with it. So I'm just going to go back here to add content. And then in the content, I'm just going to go in and go and bring stuff on generative AI. So I'm going to click in and I want to generate an image. And now I'm going to stay with the same aspect ratio. And then what do I want to go and create? So usually I will prepare for myself some kind of prompt that I want to go and work with. So how do you do your prompts usually? What's the best way to do it is actually decide on a subject, tell it exactly what you want the subject to do, and maybe even go to the environment of the subject that I have. If I want something really amazing, maybe I will go to Photoshop and do it. Maybe I will go directly to Firefly, but I can still do it over here and see what I'm going to get. So I'm going to go in and type something. So let's see if I have some prompts that I already have. So I have some prompts that I always gonna go and put in there. So I'm gonna go in and see if I have my prompt already. And then I have it. So look how many prompts I have already here. And let's see if it's something that works with architecture that I have over here. I'm not sure I have anything with architecture, but I'm going to go in for something that gonna go in and give me. So I'm gonna go in a lawn chair made with neon lights. And I'm gonna copy that. And I'm just going to go in and paste it. Not sure yet. Look at that. I'm not doing anything with the composition. I'm not doing anything with the style yet. And then I'm going to make it as art, or I can make it as graphics or photo. I'm just going to do graphics. And for now, I'm not going to establish anything. I'm just going to go in and bring it over. And it takes a moment. This is the part I said in the beginning, before some of you actually came in, that sometime it takes a long time with the internet, especially here in a school environment. Sometimes I have to actually reload everything. So look what I have over here. I have, so maybe I'm not going to do like I want to build and design. So maybe I'm, as an architect or an interior designer, I'm maybe building furniture, not houses. So the house all the way down, I'm going to still do something with it, but I'm going back to this one here. So look what I'm doing to my background. I'm going to go into the background that I have. I'm going to make it really big. And then while I have it over here, I'm just going to click on more. And when I want to go back here, I can go in, have the source information. It's going to tell you if I took it from the AI or from everything that I have. But over here, I'm just going to click on the opacity and I'm just going to make it really, really light. So what am I gaining right now? Just kind of a background, and I'm actually gaining like depth. Just let me know if you are able to follow me. But I don't like here the color of the background that I have. So I'm just going to go back here, and then I'm looking to see my background, And basically, I'm going to click on the background and make that kind of grayish. And you see now, it looks a little bit better, more or less. Build and design. And I'm just going to go into the word and I'm going to do an and sign. I like that a little bit better. Again, we can talk for hours and you'll see me. I'm going to talk for hours about typefaces, depending how I want to go and put it here. So maybe the first one, it's going to be some kind of furniture. So I'm going to this furniture right now. And what do I want to do over here? I want to go back here and play with it a little bit. So I'm just going to go and edit that. And then I'm going to go to the generate image that I have here and look what I'm doing here. What shall I do with it? Shall I go in and make it different kind of design? Or shall I go in a lawn chair made up of something else and then figure out how I want to go and do that? So maybe this one is going to be on neon lights over here. It is okay. Maybe I can go into a composition, and that when I can go into any images that I have and add some composition for it if I have a different kind of composition that I want to go in and work with. So I can go into my downloads and see if I have some kind of Firefly images that I want to go in and change some kind of composition over here. And this is the composition. And if I go into the style, I'm going to go into a different kind of style over here. And I'm just going to go back here and see what I'm getting. So it's basically, I can go back here and tell my design what I want to get to create my kind of social media. And look what I got over here. I got a chair like this, but look at this chair. Why did I get that? I did it on purpose because I really don't want it here. Because in my composition over here, I have something that I had a dog on it, which I really don't want to have it. And then I'm just going to go in and I'm going to still do it as graphics. And then I'm going to go to the theme or the material. So what kind of material I want to go in and have that? Maybe I'm going to make it a wood carving and I'm going to go and generate. So that's going to be the same chair that I'm going to go in and then maybe promote for my poster, maybe for my web design, maybe from a banner, and maybe for any other things. So look at that. What do I want to do over here? This is the build and design chair, or this one, or that one, or that one. Which one would you like to have, right? So I'm going to go to this one. Actually, yeah. So another thing that I can do over here to this result, and I'm going to go actually and copy it and paste it. So I'm going to have two of them purposely. And then I'm going to go to one of the copies and I'm going to say remove background. So when I go into remove background, look at that. I just have the chair itself. So now when I just have the chair itself, it's basically if I go to generate image and I go back again and generate it again, it is not going to want to go and generate it for me because I did take the background. But look what else I have right now. I have Firefly 3 right now. When you do Photoshop, it's already have Firefly 4, but then you have other non-Firefly models. And then I'm going to go and check it out and see what I'm getting in Gemini 2.5 flash images, and everybody's calling it Nano Banana. It's a very famous one, and look what I'm getting right now. And now I got over here, this is the image that I got over here. If I want to go back here and generate more of it, and I can see if I want to go and work with that. But you see what I did? I actually have my original still. So this is what I always do. And then I'm going to click on that and look what I get here. Because I went back here, I got this right now. And then I just said, I'm going to go back here and I'm restoring the background. You see what happened? So I can go back and restore the background. So when you take away the background, it stays there, and then you can do another generation of something. When you do the Gemini AI, you're basically getting only one version. When you do Firefly, you get three versions of that. So depending if I want to do that, and then I'm just going to tell you something that I don't really like. I don't like the idea that I can have some kind of layers and I cannot take away stuff from my layers. But I'm going to go back here and click on that and then select this chair and just put it kind of like below. So you can see the two chairs that I have over here. I kind of want to go and write something on it. And that's going to be maybe a first design that I'm going to go in and create with designing a chair. And then if I go back here, I can still see the neon light and I can still go back here and generate it again to create something. So I want to go in and create a chair that looks similar more or less to the other one with different kind of variation. Does that make sense? So in this case, what I really did, I used AI to bring in my inspiration images. If I was a real chair designer, probably I'm going to have images that I manufacture some stuff, and then I'm going to take images and just bring it over. Because it is a class situation, I'm using AI for the inspiration. I might even use this AI for here just to show somebody this is the chair that I want to go and build over. And I'm going to go in and move it around. I'm just playing a little bit, and maybe I want to go and just do something else with it. So I'm just going to go back to the text over here. And I'm going to go and create my own text over here. And then I'm just going to create something and I'm going to say, build your chair and shift return with unlimited sources. This is my little slogan that I have over here. And then I'm just going to go in and decide, do I want to go and create the same kind of typeface? I'm just going to go the same typeface, but I'm going to make it regular. And then I'm just going to shift return and highlight that and then decide, do I want to have it applied to the center like the other one? And all the way over here, I can see text layout. So I can do different kind of dynamic text over here. And then when you do dynamic text, you can have different kind of sizes over here. And look at that. Build your chair in unlimited sources. And now it looks a little bit different. You see, it looks like more graphics element all of a sudden, right? It looks like more kind of graphics. And maybe I'm going to create something else. And then, and if I want to go back here, I can go in and select that and put it over here. And then select this one. And if I want to go and create some kind of colors to it, I'm going to do select all. And again, I can choose the color that I have. I can do like the eyedropper, and I can actually choose a color directly from the chair that I have over here. And now I'm adding some colors. Build your chair unlimited resources, unlimited sources over here. And now maybe I'm just going to go back here and duplicate it. So I'm holding down the Option key or Alt key and copying over here. And then I'm just going to go back here and say for more information. And then I'm just going to say www chairs design.com. I'm making it up right now. So I make my company name is chairdesign.com, and this is basically kind of like my information. Another thing that I could have done here instead, because you see the WW doesn't look so good in this case, right? So I can do something else with it, and then I can do select all. And then basically I'm going to go and make it for default. And then I'm just going to go in and make it a little smaller. And then just go back here. And make it something that looks something like that. I can just create the graphics that I want. But another thing that I can do here is actually have the instead of have just the WW over here, I actually can go in and create maybe a QR code over here to it, and then bring a QR code and have it over here just right away now. So now what I'm going to do here, I want to go and create a QR code. Can I create a QR code directly over here? Not really all the way. So I'm just going to go back here and see under add content, I can add photo, video, shapes, background, stickers, and chart and templates over here. I'm going to add another content over here, and maybe I'm going to go and add some kind of element. And look at that. There was a chair over there already because it's really remembering something that I did already. And I have a tiny little chair over here just to go in and bring it in. So if I want to just go back here and bring a little sticker over here, I can just go back here and put the chair. That could be maybe my logo over here. And then I can do a QR code. So what I'm going to do now, I did kind of like my first kind of social media over here. What I'm going to do here with it, I can download it if I want, but I'm not done yet. But I can also go back here and go back, and right away, look what I have over here. It is already going to go back here. I didn't name it, but I'm going to click on the three dots over here. And then I'm just going to go back here. And then when I open it later, I'm going to go in and rename it. And I'm going to say social media #1 and things like this. But the other one that I want to go in and have is a few ways to start. I'm going to go back here and say quick actions. And look what I have in the quick action. In the quick action, you do have a QR code. So I'm going to click on a QR code, and I'm going to decide what kind of color I want to go and do in the QR code. So I'm going to choose the color. I can choose the style. And then I'm going to go www.chairs.com. It's probably not going to tell me that it's not a good URL over here. And then I'm going to open it in my editor. So if I'm going to open it in the editor, it opens it actually directly in Express, which I really didn't want to do that because it's just going to create something a little bit different. So I'm going to go to the quick action over here. I'm going to click www.chairs, that's the name of the company, .com. And then I'm going to go in the style, and I'm actually going to go in and download it. So I downloaded it now. And then I'm going back to Adobe Express. And I'm going to my social media. So the first thing that I want to go back here, I want to go and edit the page over here. And I also go in and go give it a name. So I'm going to go in and say, oops, over here, chairs _ social media post. And I'm going to click over here. And now I'm going to go back here and add content. I'm going to go to the media and I'm going to upload it from my device. And I'm going to go to my down, and then I'm just going to go back here. And I did it twice, but I'm going to go back here and I have my QR. And I'm just going to go into my QR code and I'm just going to go and put it here. So if I want to do it with the QR code, I have it over here, and then I can go and work with that. I can adjust it. I can also go into the color. I can reset the color, saturate and unsaturate the colors that I want. I can also go back here and go into the position. I can add round corners to it if I want. And then I'm just going to go back here and have that. And then somebody can go in, oh, I don't like that. And then the round corner is a little bit too much over here. Then I have it over here, and I can actually go and type www, and then I'm going to give it the name because that's going to be actually my logo. And then I'm just going to go into the text, and then I'm going to add my text, and I'm going to call chairs.coms, and then select all. And I'm going to give it a different kind of typeface over here. So that's going to be my part of my logo. So maybe this is it. And then this is going to be here. And I can go and download it and bring it actually to my brand and everything else if I want. So I'm going to have chairs.com. Don't like the way it is looking. So you see here, I'm kind of working with it a little bit just to create something that looks a little bit different. Again, if things are moving, you can lock the layer. I can go back here and have it here. I can go back to this one and look at this. Looks a little bit better to me right now. I just don't like that I see the white stuff over here. So I'm going to go to opacity and I'm going to make it multiply, and look at that. Now I got kind of like the area that I have. So I do have this right now, and I have one collateral for my marketing. So what if I want to go in now and use the same thing to something a little bit different? So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go in and then I can duplicate the page. And now I have another page that looks exactly like it. But in this one, I kind of want to do something else to the stuff that I have over here. I'm going to go back and resize it. So I have resized, it was 1080 by 1080 before, but now I want to go back here and I want to maybe make it social media. And then it was an Instagram. Maybe I want to make it an Instagram story. And then I'm going to go and resize. I could have resized and duplicate, but now because I duplicated it, I'm only resizing it. And it takes a moment. So do you see what it's doing right now? It's thinking for me, and then it does for me an Instagram story right now. So now, yes, do we need to fix the stuff? Absolutely, right? Because it did give me the stuff and resize, and it's asking me, do you want to keep this one? Do you want to keep that one? Or do you want to keep this one? Doesn't matter. I'm going to go in and keep the asking about generative AI. And now what I want to do over here, I'm going to go in and change it a little bit. So I'm going to go in and maybe it's going to be an Instagram story. So I'm just going to say, build your chair and unlimited sources. Maybe I want to go in and put it over here. And then maybe I want to go and create something a little bit different. So I'm going to go back here to this area, and then I'm going to check out and rotate. So I'm rotating it by holding down the shift key, and basically look what I have. Build and design over here. I kind of wanted, and I'm still thinking, not sure, but I'm doing something that looks a little bit different. And now maybe this one is not working, but maybe it's going to be one chair here, and then maybe I'm going to pick. So this is your graphics ideas that you're going to have to build yourself. And then depending basically on a client, they're going to say, do it like this or do it the other way. I mean, I can go back and forth, and you can see now I have an Instagram story that looks a little bit different. I'm going to still have my QR code over here. And then I'm just going to go back here all the way down and maybe find a place to put my logo. And maybe the logo on this case might be a little bit smaller. And then I'm just going to do that and make it a little bit. As long as it's the same logo, you can have different kind of sizes that you have over here. And now I have build your own design, and that's going to be your Instagram story. Or maybe I kind of want it, you know, I'm moving it around again. You can see I'm moving that. I'm holding it on the shift key. I might move this one over here and then go into the QR code and then put this one over here. Now it looks a little bit better for me in terms of the design that I have. Again, this is your own way of working with it, and I'm still working with the same images. Does that make sense? So, kind of what you have over here, build and design, maybe that's your campaign. Chairs.com is the company, and then you have some kind of a slogan that telling you what you want to do with it. And I'm holding down the shift key and bringing it all the way up here, and then I have that, and I can go back here and move it to the side over here and deselect, and I have my Instagram story. So again, if I want to go in and do something else right now, I can go again and go to the page, and then I'm going to go back here and add a new page over here. And now I have a new page, and in this case, I have just a new page with nothing in it. So I can copy and paste stuff, or if I wanted to go back here to the page that I have over here, I can go right away to resize. And in this case, I'm going to go back here, and again, I'm going to do maybe the social media. No, I'm just going to go back here and see that I have, no, I just don't want to do another social media. Maybe I'm going to resize it. And in this case, I want to go in and make it into a print document. No, I'm going to go back here. And then let's say what I want to do over here. I want to go in social media and ads. I'm going to go to the ads over here and see if I can go back here. Instagram portrait, TikTok, LinkedIn, Amazon ad. You have different kind of stuff that you want to have. I have display ad. I can also go in and do a display ad. So look at this, medium rectangle ad, mobile letterboard ad, and skyscraper ad. And then look at this. I have that, and look at this. That's going to be absolutely a different kind of size that I have over here. Of course, I can share my design. That's something else. And that's a service that they give you to go to a place called Zazzle and then print your design. But that's something else that you can do a little bit later. So this is what I have right now. Do I like it? I actually like it that it's cut out like this. It's kind of look like that. But what I did actually, I shouldn't have done it like this because I should have duplicated it. And I didn't duplicate it. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go in and go back here. and I'm going to go in and add, no, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go in and resize over here. And then I want to go in and resize it. And I'm going to go back here to maybe a letterhead and resize and duplicate. So look what I got right now. So now I'm resizing and duplicating. This is what I forgot to do a little bit later, before. What did you guys, were you guys able to do some stuff? Which company do you do? Ketchup. Oh, cool. You see there's some chairs. That's cool. Oh, you're doing different ones? Nice. Were you able to do some stuff? Oh, that's good. What is that?
Like I work for like a healthcare.
Okay, great.
I wanted to try something fancy.
Go try something for healthcare. Yeah, I like that. I like the way you did it here. So I have like a white space there, and then it looks really good, kind of in terms of graphics. But look what I have here. So this is kind of like they call it letterhead, but I'm gonna go and decide that I want to do one of these, and then I'm gonna keep that. And then I'm just going to go and work on that. So in this case, I'm going to go and create something completely different. And maybe I'm going to make more chairs over here. And then I'm going to go and, because you see, it's a lot bigger right now. So I'm just going to go back here. And then I'm just going to go in and see. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to generate something else over here. So I'm just going to say add content. I'm going to go into media. I'm going to go and generate another one as a square. I'm going to try to do it more or less the same. And I'm going to go in and decide that I want to do. Which chair did I have? I already forgot what my prompt was. I have a lawn chair made up of neon lights, but I'm going to change that. And I'm going to say a lawn chair made up of wicker basket. Making it up right now. See what I'm getting right now. Again, just for something that you need, if you want to use for inspiration AI, think about the prompting that's going to go in and be the right one for you. So look at this lawn chair. Whoa, I like that actually. It kind of looks like something like that, but look at this. And it has almost the same one over here. And then I can go back here and put it somewhere else. So I can go and start seeing where do I want to go in and put my images over here. So I have another one here and another one here. And then I can go back here and put the images there. And you can see now my background is actually, each time I click on the background, I'm moving it, which I don't want to move that. So I can go in to the background that I have and actually lock it. And now my background is locked, so it's not going to move. And then I'm just going to go in and move it over. And then just put my little slogan over here for many kind of resources. So maybe I want to have another one or another one, depending of that. But I have this one over here, and I can write something else. So I kind of want to have the QR code, the same one over here, and then the chair is going to be here, kind of like my logo over here, which I'm going to go and select these guys, and I'm going to group them. So they're going to be kind of like, oh, I don't want to group it like this. And then I'm going to group that. And then I have this. So now I can just go in and write something else to it. So if I have built your own share on your own resources, I can go and duplicate it and put this one over here and then write something different over here just to do that. And like, look what I have over here. If I zoom out a little bit, I basically have some different kind of things. I'm going to move this one here. Kind of don't like it that I have this QR code so much. If I don't want to have the QR code, I can go in and actually delete the QR code. Again, you can see sometime I just go back and forth. I like something, I don't like something. I'm just going to go back and forth. And I don't think it's anything bad to go back and forth between the areas that you have and just kind of like play with it to get kind of like the information. So look at that. I'm selecting all of them. And now I'm actually bringing it down a little bit. So in this case right now, what you can do, if I went back to print it right now, you can see it's over here. It's kind of like to the edges that I have over here, which is okay. What can I do with it right now? I can go in and say animate all. So if I'm going to go in, I might duplicate it first and then animate it. So I'm just going to go back here and then I'm going to go in the same size. I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm just going to say duplicate it because I don't want to go and take away the one that I did already. I'm going to go and edit the page. And let's say on the third, fourth one, I'm going to animate it. So if you have animate all, you can say all text and object or only text. Do you see that? So let's first do all text and object. And then this is your timeline. So that animates everything. If you want to go in, I'm going to remove all, and then I'm just going to go in and click only on text. So you can get something like that. I'm removing all, and then I'm just going to go back here and then do the popping for both of them if you want to have something that looks like that. Or you want to do like a waterfall. It's just depending. Or really, you can go in and animate each one by yourself. But the animate all really gives it kind of like a nice little thing. So you can kind of take that and make from it like an Instagram story that just everything is kind of like. And then if you go back here to edit the timeline, this is what you get here. This is basically your timeline. And then you can show the layering that you have. So basically everything you can have here. You can also add audio. So I'm just going to put something. And then I can go back here and add some stuff over here. And then I might not get some kind of music right now, but you can see over here, I just can add some audio that I have over here. I might go in and add different kind of audio. You heard that, right? That's not really stuff that I wanted. I'm gonna go back here and then I can go in and delete the audio and then go back here and create something else with it. So again, you can go in and download it now as an MP4 if you wanted to go in and add the audio. I'm gonna go back here and then soft music and background loop. So whatever you have, if I'm going to go back here and download this one, I can download that as an MP4. And then if I'm going to go into the selected pages, That's going to be kind of like an MP4 that I have over here. And then also you can order the print and everything that you have. So I'm just going to go back to the area and see what I created so far, because I do want to go to a web page. So I have like over here, everything over here that I have. And then I'm going to go back here and see all the pages that I have over there. And then I'm just going to go back here and let's look at the pages. So you can see here I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 pages. So I can decide that I want to download that for my campaign as a PDF file. So I'm just going to go in. First of all, I can share it. So I can go in to share it with people. I can copy a link. I can convert it to a template. I can also present it. And this is something actually new that you have right now. And then I can go in, this is the animation that I have right now. So I can go back here and present that. And I can show somebody exactly the page that I have over here. I can also go back here to this area and I can share. And then I can present it. I can say schedule a post. I can go to the Google Drive, and I can also go back here and share to social media, convert to template. So what does it mean, convert to template? I converted all of it to a template, and now somebody else can work with it, and I can invite other people to go in and change that. So this is really good if you're working in a place and start creating some stuff and you want other people to start working with you. I created the template, and now look at this. I have all the stuff here, and then I can even go back here and the MP4, and I can invite some people to go in, or I can copy the link, and then people can go in and actually create the template with me. So the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, do you have any questions so far?
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the recording because I came in a
Yeah.
little late, but yeah, good.
Right. Well, the other thing that I feel like it's good that you're doing like marketing, let's say I did a different kind of marketing, but what if you have the marketing story? So when some of you were late, I was talking about a whole story that I created once with Sketcher and another company together. And I actually ended up creating kind of a presentation. I created kind of like a presentation, and then in this presentation, I created something that I called it a design brief. So if I'm going to go back here, and this one is basically the design brief for the project, I created this design brief in Express. So the project proposal was to do something for a disability film challenge together with Sketcher. And you can see I just did XXX and General Assembly, all kind of stuff over here because it was. And then creative brief. Sketcher just slip in collaboration with Seal Disability Film. So how did I use that? I created that as a presentation within Adobe Express. So I'm going to show you in a minute how you create a presentation. So if I wanted to talk about me creating, let's say, architectural design and things like this, I might do a presentation about that. This one is a different kind of presentation. And then I want to go in and create the key message. What is what I wanted? And you can see all the way here, I do have the logo and I have the logo of Skechers. And then, so really, what really symbolizes this presentation when you see it, you see all the titles are the same colors, all the titles are the same size. On the side, I have the logo and I have the logo of the other company. So it is actually cohesive. And this is what you want to do when you do kind of like marketing collateral. So I created that directly within Adobe Express, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Look at this. I have different kind of images. I have the requirement. And then in the end, I basically have like the budget and other stuff that I wanted to go and create with it. So I'm just jumping back to Adobe Express and then look at the other stuff that you want to go and do. So I want to go in and start with your own content, or I'm going to go back here and say web page. What does it mean, web page? And I actually started one, but I'm just going to go again and I'm just going to go web page. And look what you have in web page. You can create a browse for a template for web pages. You can create an online portfolio, a link in the bio, a microsite, a blog, a newsletter, a report, a mood board, learning journal, and other stuff that you have. And then you can go back here and click on the web pages, and then you can see different ones. So I chose something like business over here. And then I actually chose this one, mid-century modern. So I'm going to click on it first to preview it. And look what I have over here. It's just here it's a mood board to create stuff. And then they happen to be the chairs. Do you see that? And happens to have some textures that I'm going to use with that. And I happen to have organic some stuff over here and view more of the boards that I have. So if I wanted to use, let's say, something like this to create a mood board for my chair design, I will go in and use that as a template. So what does it mean and what do you have over here? It starts over here that on the side, you want to have maybe a mood board for something mid-century modern that they did, but I actually didn't want to have it like this. So what I did when I clicked on it, I said, I want to change it to have a cover. I don't want to have it in two sides. So you can see I click on it and I'm going to click on cover. And look what I have here on the cover. It says add a title and add a subtitle. So remembering what I had over there in terms of my design that I did before, I might go in and say chairs, and then I can call it design. And how did I call it before? I think I had design and something.
Build.
Build, build and design, right? See, I already forget. Build and, oops, build and design. So you're going to ask me now, and then this is what I want to talk to you about. Why are these typefaces are like this? What did the typeface come from? From somebody who made the template and it's looking exactly like that. So I can go in, do I want to have this image over here? Not sure, right? Because this is the image that was there. I can go and replace the image. So I cannot upload it from the device, or I can go in to generate an image. And in the generate an image, I can decide that I want to go back here, and then I'm going to do it landscape or widescreen over here. And then I'm just going to go back here and decide maybe I'm going to still have, or I don't have the prompt on it anymore, but I can call it um, chairs, or maybe I'm just going to go back to my crazy looking lawn chair, and I can go back here and decide that I'm putting a prompt. And I'm going to go back here, retry again later. Okay. So what happened here? Yeah, it's the internet. See what happened? Don't get scared when it happened. I remember the first few times that I did it, I was like a little freaking out, but not anymore. I was completely calm, right? And then, okay, so it says a lawn chair made of neon light with red and blue furniture. A lawn chair made of neon. They're giving you some suggestion. I just do a lawn chair made of neon light with ocean view. Why not? I'm just going to get something a little more descriptive, right? Because it's going to be like a background. And maybe I'm asking for too much. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And then I'm going to go in and say generate. Oops. And I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go in and bring that to the area over here and then apply. And look what I have over here. I applied it and now look at my background over here. It looks a little bit different, right? It's too harsh a little bit, but now I'm just going to go in and see. I want to show you what's happening with a website, a web like this. So all the way over here, I can present it. I can also preview it. I can also do a comment. And over here, there's something called themes. So what does it mean, themes? Because I took a template, somebody had their own, the template was built with their own theme. If I click on the word theme, look what I have over here. These are the themes that you have. So I have my theme. So this one, blue thing, that's another theme that I made before. This is another theme. This is another theme. And these are the express theme that giving for you. So depending which theme that I want to use. What if I want to go in and let's say all of us, because all of us has the express theme, let's go into the track. So look what happened. When you go in and to track, you see all of us has the same typefaces for everything that you're going to do. Can you do your own theme? Absolutely. You can go back here and do your own theme. So you can see here I have web assets. And then if I go back here to my web assets, I'm able to generate the theme that I have, but I have my own test brand that I did before, Adobe Express, Express some more, and another test one. So I have my own little brand that I can go and work with. And but for now, I want to go in and work with maybe the one that Adobe Express giving me. So I'm going to go in, let's say, to Baldwin. And then I'm going to click. So look what happens. The typeface that I have for chairs for the title, I cannot change it right now. The build and the subtitle, that's part of this theme that I have. Now I'm going to go down here and then says interior. So what does it mean? It will talking to me here about what am I going to go in and show about my chairs. So this one is adding a caption. I can go in and replace it to a different kind of image over here. I can go back here and replace it to a different image. I can add a caption. I can go over here and you see it gives you a description that you can write something about. This is, of course, lorem ipsum, so it's telling you a story that you don't have. And then over here, you have different kind of ways and material that they did. So I'm just going to go back here and you can edit the grid. So basically, you can go back here to each one of them. So let's say if I go back to this one, I can make it large. I can replace it. So if I'm going to go in and replace it, if we're going to replace it, let's say I'm going to say generate image, and then I'm going to go in material for the chair is from wicker and threads. So I'm going to go in material for the chairs from wicker, thread, modern shape, detail, wood flooring. I just took another one. So I can see I have a different kind of image that I can go in and put in there. And I'm going to show you in a minute few ways of doing it and how to start actually a web page by default. And I use web page all the time to do anything for some kind of marketing. And then it takes too long. In a minute, I'm probably gonna have to refresh it. Refresh, refresh. You see how long? I mean, if I had my own material, a lot of time would I have for things like this for the web. So far, I'm not doing so much AI with it. I'm preparing my own, and I'm going to show you in a minute some sample for other stuff that I'm marketing myself. So let's say I'm marketing my own art, I'm marketing a class, I'm marketing an event, I'm marketing some product that I'm doing. So you can see here, it's really not really working great. Whoa, that's way too long. This is long, long, long. Whoa.
Do none of these work?
Hmm?
Do none of these work?
It should. It's not working over there?
Mm.
Oh, this guy's work. The floor.
Yeah, that's why in their other class I was waiting.
Yeah.
Because the ones on the wall were.
I know. That's why I'm like here. It's working?
Yeah.
This, yeah. Oh, what?
That's why.
Oh, okay. That's why some, yeah. Okay, look at that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go back here and redo it. See, it took too long. I'm going to reload it. Yay, reloading. Okay, so you can see here. So if I wanted to change an image, I can go in and change the image. I can put the texture that I have over here, and then you can go back here and then you can go in and bring some other images and all kind of stuff just to go in and bring the image and then create kind of like, okay, great. I can put some other photos and all kind of stuff like that. Okay. So I can go back here, share it, and then go down all the way here and look at that. It's the whole kind of like presentation that you have. So what can you do with it? You can put any links in it. You can also go and download it. Right now, believe it or not, you can go and download it already as a PDF, which is really great. And then the only problem is the pages are not going to be perfect. But the other thing that you can do with it, you basically can share it and publish on the web and then create a link with it. So if I'm going to go and create a link, let's see if it's going to work today. I'm going to copy the link and then I can go to my new window and click on it and look at that. Somebody else is going to get it and then they can see the entire presentation right now with the links and everything that you have. So the web page is really great for presentation. Look at that. I can go in and present everything that I have while I'm working with the web page. But I'm going to go back to over here and look at that. So I'm going to go and click OK. So I can go video, document, web page, and then I can start from the web page over here, but I also can go in and start from scratch completely. I can just go back here and then go into a web page like this, and then I can go all the way and start from scratch. So what does it mean if I start from scratch? Look at that. It just gives you something as a plain canvas that you have over here. And now you can decide you add a title and then you can add the subtitles. So promoting yourself and doing a marketing campaign, it doesn't have to be like a product, whatever you're doing, right? Everything can be some kind of marketing. What if you wanted as a marketing for yourself to create your own portfolio? Right? You graduating, you did the whole asset of stuff, you're creating your portfolio, right? So for that, you're probably gonna have the images and everything that you have already ready. So I'm just gonna go in and say, I'm gonna say digital art. I'm making it up because I do a lot of digital art. So I'm promoting myself. And based on that, maybe I'm going to even send the client a Instagram and then an Instagram story, a poster or anything about myself thing. And then I'm just going to go in and I said digital art by whatever. Let's say I'm just going to do mine. So I'm going to click over here and I'm going to look for a photo. So because it is my own art already, I might go into my device and I'm going to go in and find something that it is actually my art. So I'm just going to go to my art over here and then I'm going to go back here and decide that I'm going to go back here. Let's say I'm going to go in and okay, I'm just going to go to some of my artwork and then I'm going to go into general art and I'm going to look at something that has maybe a wide look. Whatever it is, look at that. I have an image that talking about my digital art. Could be not this image, could be any collage that you do either in Adobe Express and download it, or you do anything in Photoshop and download it, right? But now let's see the theme that I have here. I'm going to go into the theme over here. And the theme kind of like went indirectly to a theme that I had over here. And then it says Think Blue or something. This is a theme that I created before. And you see the typefaces and the stuff that I have. This is how I called it. So maybe I'm going to use that. So now, do I want it to be such a big cover? Or I want to go back here and make it just a short cover. And that's a short cover. So there's a long cover and then there is a cover. But I'm looking at it, if I do a short cover, everything is going to actually be green because I did a green background for some reason. So I'm just going to go in and do a different kind of that. And this one was Modern Elegance that I called that. And then look at that. Okay. So now I'm just going to go and continue to write my story. So what do I want to do? I can add some text over here or I can have a photo. Maybe I have a photo that represents my art. So I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to choose something about my art that I really like to go in and work with. So I'm just going to go back here and then I'm going to click and put some kind of art. I can have a caption and see what did I do for it, or I'm just going to go back here and then just do a text. And in the text that I have over here, I'm just going to go back. Oops, I don't know why it doesn't let me do it again. Oh, it did. And then I'm going to call it all about me. And I'm going to select that so you can see heading 1, heading 2. Maybe it's going to be heading 1, and then maybe I want to go in align it to the center. Why is it kind of like all caps like this? This is the brand and the theme that I created. That's the theme. So when you have a theme, everything goes with the theme that you have. Does that make sense? So right now in the middle of working, I cannot just go in here. Maybe one day they will do it. This is why I said the word right now, because that's a very big request. Why can't we go into the theme and still change the typeface? Why do I have to be stuck? But it is a template based. So I have it here. Why is it this color? Because that's how the template is. So maybe I'm going to go back here. And what do I want to put? I want to put some text over here. So all about me. Maybe I'm going to open something that I wrote and I'm going to cut and paste something about me, right? So you cannot place anything here right now. You have to prepare all the stuff by yourself. So I'm going to go in here and see if I can open something that it is saying something all about me over here. And then I'm going to go into Adobe Classes, and then I'm going to go into seminars, and then I'm going to go in to see if I have some kind of text that I have over here about myself over here. And then I don't think I have text over here. So I'm just going to go back here and open something about me. Or I can just go back here and actually paste and let's say paste and paste and paste and paste and paste and paste. And this is going to be the story about me. I'm going to highlight that and look what I have over here. That's the regular. I can make it bold. I can make it italic. I can also align it to the left, align it to the center. I have like quotes over here, like I can go in and have some kind of design. If I have an order list or something like this, I also can go in and put a link on it. So if I go back here, I can go in and text and I can say www behance.net slash Hannah art. That's where my art is. So I'm just going to go back here and I can link it. And then I'm just going to go back here and say www.behance.net front slash Hannah art or your website. And then once I have it here, I can align it to the center right now. So let's just go back here and look at the preview. So digital art by Hannah, right? I have it over here, all about me. It's my story, and then shows you some kind of art. And then if I click here, it will go to Behance. It is going to go back here. And then, oops, I probably did it something not right over here. I don't know why it went like this. So I'm just going to go and see. Maybe I made a little mistake over here. So I'm going to go to the link. Oh, yeah, I just did it. And now I'm going to click OK. So I did kind of like the wrong one. And then I'm going to go in and look at that. Now it's going to go in and open. You see, this is my portfolio, and that shows you where my art. So if I need to kind of like send something, an immediate portfolio about my art, the web page is really a great answer. So what kind of ways that you have? So I'm going to go back here and let's see how we have it. I'm going to go back here and click on the plus sign. In the plus sign, I can bring photos, I can bring video, I can bring GIF, I can create a button. I also create a photo grid over here. So I'm just going to click on the photo grid and upload from my device. And I'm just going to go and create, and I'm just going to put some images. So I'm going to go in to my, and I'm going to go in and put some coffee cups. Why not? And then I'm going to click here. And this is the grid. So look at that. And each one, you can see the images that I created, and then you can see the stuff here. And I can add a caption. So I can say painted with Adobe Fresco and painted. I can go and create something else. So this is the grid over here. And then I just went back here and I created the grid over here. And I'm going to go back here, and then I'm going to move it all the way down because I want it to be before. And then you have this one over here, and this one is an inline photo. And then, oops, I don't want it to have a full screen. Inline fill screen window. And now I have all about me, the inline screen, and a grid. What else do I want to have? I can have a split layout. And this is really great if you have more than one stuff to feature. So you can have some written material and some stuff that you want to show. So you can bring an image over here. And then maybe I'm going to go and talk a little bit about my photos. And then I can say here, I love painting coffee cups. And then I'm just going to go back here and maybe bring some more. And in a minute, I'll show you the real one that I made so you can see that I have some written material and other stuff. And then I can have it all over here, and I have some captions for that. Then I have another one that's a glide show. And for some reason, on my computer, the glide show does not work. And I really need to figure out why. Because the glide show is whenever you have something all the way down and then you want to go back here, you have some kind of images all the way on the side, and you will be able to add some more stuff to it. And I just don't know why, for me, for the life of me, there's something. Oh, here it is. Oh, no, it didn't do it again. I'm not able to go in and bring my own file on my computer, which is really frustrating. Everybody else could do it except me. But you can put some other stuff here. So you see here, you will be able to click on the plus sign and then go in and add your own stuff, your video, anything else with it. And for some reason, as soon as I move, you see, I cannot do it. Don't know why it does it. And sometime it will, okay, I have to figure out why it doesn't do, open the link and everything. And then I don't know, something is kind of wrong with the stuff that I have. Anyway, if I go all the way down, I can go back here for my stuff. I can also go in and bring the stuff over here and edit as an image. So I had stuff, and it takes it from stuff that I already had on my Adobe Express already. So I can add some links, I can add all kind of stuff, and I can send it. So I want to show you how to finish it. So I do have some finished material. If I'm going to go back here to Adobe Express, and I can go into my stuff. So this is my stuff over here. So this is the one I started building. This is a menu that I created. This is content and stuff. And then look at that. This is stuff that I made, let's say. Okay, I don't want to do this one because I want to show you the art. So I'm going to go in and view all. And all the way up here, you might see all of a sudden, I have something that has digital art. I don't know if it's the last one that I have, but all the way down, you can see that I have a lot of stuff that I can create, some web pages. I even did stuff, look at this, and that sounds familiar to you guys. It is about the classes that we have here. So I'm marketing the classes that we have here with web page. Hopefully we'll see it in a minute. It is slow today, isn't it? Oh, man. One. Okay. So this is Adobe certified classes. And then look at that. This is the place. This is telling you about the classes that we have. I mean, you see over here, if I go back, there's a link to it. I'm going to go back here. I can go in to present it in the preview so you can see that's going to look a little bit better. See, these are the classes. This is everything about Annenberg. This is a certified professional. This is all the classes that we have. And then you can see that it's showing you kind of step by step everything. And then toward the end, it shows you the teachers. It shows you even stuff. And then if I go back here, it shows you about the test and everything that you have. So everything that you do in a web page, you can kind of like create it for marketing collateral, for portfolio collateral, for everything that you have. The same thing you can also do. You can go back here and do your presentation also. So custom template. Remember the template that yes.
So how is it, or what is it being hosted through? Is Adobe hosting it also?
Yes.
So it can go live automatically?
It lives automatically. You
Okay.
just, but the next question I know you're going to ask, can I have my own link? No.
Oh, okay, so it's whatever it generates.
Whatever that generates. That's why you see me like let's say, let me show you. Yeah, it's a great question, right? So if I go into my little sticky notes, right, and I'm going to call it Express Pages, because I never remember. Look what I have here. I don't, I mean, I don't even know what it is, right? But I write it down. So now we say, let's say USC, downtown LA, let's say workflow with Photoshop and Illustrator. I made it one day.
Okay, so where do you locate whatever it generates inside?
It's in your Adobe Express.
Right, where? In, like,
Oh,
on the page where you
yeah,
locate
okay,
it?
good. Yeah. So if I go back here, let's say I'm going here, right? I open it first time. So I'm going in and I say, okay, let's see what I did. So the view all, you see here, over here that I have here, recent file, that's my stuff. So if I say view all, you can see all the mess that I did the last few weeks. And then one thing, you see how some of them look the same and some of them not the same. So one tip that I have for you is, and that's based on stuff that happened to me before, because I mean, it was on the web. So when I started doing it long time ago, I did like a website and I didn't like something. So I went back and I changed it. And then I said, like the other one, wasn't there. So what you want to do all the time, whenever you do anything, you just go in. Let's say if I go here, let's say to the beautiful chairs that I did over here, right? Let's say I want to fix it, but I'm not sure. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to duplicate it. Duplicate it, give it a different slide, different name, change, and then figure out which one you want to publish or unpublish.
So
And that's, yeah, that's why look.
say you want to make that chairs one live, where do you find what the
Okay.
tag is that it generates?
Okay, so if I go in, let's say if I want to duplicate it or I want to make this one live, if I go back here and I don't want to change, now I can change some stuff, but that's okay. I can go back here to share, and under the share, see, share and published link. But I can also go back here to say publish open. I can say, you know what, I don't want to publish it. I'm unpublishing it. And then I can republish it. But really, what I'm highly recommend, whatever you do, duplicate and always. So if you see, like, let's say, mine over here, and then you tell me, why do you have so many? Because I had a problem. It is actually a true story. Do you see this one, Explore DTLA? And then I have, and every year I do something called Explore DTLA before Adobe Max. And I do it again and again and again. And all of a sudden, I went back to change it from 2024 to 2025. And look how many I have there, Explore, Explore. And it didn't publish for me a link. The link was not good. Whatever I did, it went to a place that said there's no link. So I republished and republished and renamed it. In the end, I sent it to Adobe and they fixed it. There was something wrong that happened. Yeah, something got corrupted, whatever it is. And then it drove me nuts because I don't know if this one.
You spent all that time building it, and it's
Oh,
like, oh, where'd it go?
yeah. I mean, I went, and then I shared it. I wonder if it's still there. Let's say, I wonder if it's still the bad one. I don't know what happened. No, of course, now it's going to be okay. It just kept giving me error messages. And I went to another computer and I went to the different internet and I went to different websites. I spent like 4 days just to change it from 2024 to 2025 and do some little things. And then I end up sending it to Adobe and they fixed something. But this link, I can share it with you. Let's say me and you are doing it together and I can give you an option to remix it. So meaning you take mine and you can remix and make it yours with my permission. And then you see it says remix here because that's how he fixed it. I still not happy with the answers because he didn't tell me what really happened. So there is Adobe Max at a big convention in the end of the month. I'm gonna go with my link and my screen because I have screenshots. I have like screenshots that I sent. I not even screenshots. I even have it's more than that. I even have some stuff over here that says some stuff that I have here, video, like showing them what did not work. Okay, so I'm gonna try to record it and see. See, I'm showing them what did not work, and I'm showing them the error message. And then in a minute, I can see that and see that page not found. That's what I got. So that's live. That's a live video that I did to them. And then I really want to know what happened. I still don't know. So you can see, even if you know the program, there's a lot of problem happening to everybody. And they didn't solve it. So I want to go to them with this movie and with the stuff that I did and tell them why didn't it happen. Okay. So to sum it up, basically you can see how easy it is to do kind of marketing collaterals in Adobe Express. That was the whole idea. You can do a web page, you can do a presentation, you can do any social media very fast, any Instagram stories very fast and leave it the same, and also use your libraries. That's the whole idea. No. No, you can make it into a PDF. You could copy and paste, but automatically still it doesn't go to anywhere else. It just stays here. Because it's kind of like the coding, you're not in charge of the codes. The code is behind the scene. So you can embed a link from here. You can take any links to it to put it in WordPress and everything, but it's kind of like still two different entities. Even the PDF that you open, I mean, like I save a PDF from it, it's not gonna be perfect because it doesn't do it page by page, it just does it random. So then I have to open it in Acrobat and make it look nice. But I do update it as a PDF to have a copy. You wanna make sure you save it as a PDF in case something like this happened, what happened to me. So let's say he said to me, you know what, you stuck. It's went corrupted forever. At least I have the images because I have it in the PDF now. But the PDF doesn't look good. Like if I go back to, I think I have the PDF somewhere here. No, here's the PDF. So you see how the PDF is looking? 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden there's a page like this, and there's a page like this, and there's a page like this, and all of a sudden, see, it's not linear, but at least I have it. So if it is really corrupted, I have all the images and all the words that I wrote, so I can start copy and paste and rebuild it.
So this is really a good option if you're just doing like little mini projects.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
To showcase like quick portfolio or
quick portfolio, all kind of stuff like that. It's really, really helpful. Let's say I have here, um,
even like pitches for ideas.
absolutely. That's actually for that. Ideas for pictures, perfect. You have a movie to do, you have almost a storyboard. You say, here's what I wanted to do. Bang, bang, bang. This is my storyboard.
Right. So
You can do it.
concepts.
Yeah, a
Okay.
concept, a storyboard, a mood board. You can do mood board for a project. Let's say you have to do a project that really involves so many more things, but you want to show in the class, and instead of going to InDesign and start doing it, it's so much faster here. You do it, and then you can do the rest maybe in Premiere and InDesign and everything. But the concept, you can do it here.
Just to get it started.
Get it
Or get
started.
approved
Yes.
for budgets or whatever.
Yeah, budget, or like the teacher said to you, you're going the wrong direction. Sorry. Not a good thing. We don't have money for going here, going there, going to this location. But it didn't take you for so long time to do it. So that's perfect for that. Makes sense? Do you have any other questions? You good? So, what are you going to use, this or WordPress? It's just depending what you need. I mean, if you think you need things forever, probably you need to do like a real website in WordPress, because this one, once you're not going to be with Adobe, let's say in 5 years from now, you decide, I don't want to use Adobe anymore. Just don't feel like it. This is why I save my PDFs. So at least I have my information, and everything that I wrote is there as a PDF. And then I can open the PDF, and then I can open it in Acrobat and cut and paste and everything, which is Adobe also, but it's okay. Good. All right. I think we're in time, right? So I'm going to upload the video. Hopefully, this time I'm going to have the recording. Last time, it didn't work, but hopefully this time it worked. So I'm going to upload it tomorrow.
Oh, that's gonna be my other question. The Firefly course, that one didn't upload?
Yeah, we have to redo it. It just did not record. Yeah, it just did not record. And at the same day, I'm going to stop recording now.